So I got a surprise for you. Let me show this to you. This is the just 3D printed Urban Combat Mikey. So shout out to Adam who found it, and coated it black. Bro, it's huge, man. It seems like it's 10 inches tall. Yeah. Hi everyone. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of our Artist Spotlight series. It's Ching with mightyjaxx today, and we have a very special guest with us, a legendary local artist, the co-founder and creative director of Ink and Clog Studio, Eman AKA Clogtwo himself. Welcome. Yeah. For all our followers who are not familiar with him, the working relationship with Clogtwo dates back to more than a decade ago. He's actually the first artist that mightyjaxx has worked with to release Hell Lotus together in 2012, right? 11 years already. And then through the years, we also released Toshineko series, a three-way collaboration with the Mechasoul hand, and then last but not least, the most recent one was a Mechasoul Optimus Prime. So here we are today, coming to you this weekend. We have Urban Combat Michelangelo, Mikey. Before we begin though, I want to ask you some stuff. It's my pleasure to be speaking with you again. So how have you been for the last couple of years?
Yeah, it's been a while, right, since we met each other.
Yeah.
Definitely doing well for the past 3 years. I mean, apart from COVID and everything, it's definitely a blessing that we get to focus on our work, get to focus on what we need to do.
Basically, how I get updates from just through the timeline. I guess you've been busy as anyway, right? Like you've been churning out work after work. So that's great. How are the two cats?
Two cats are healthy. Yep. One is getting rounder. Yuki. Yeah. So she's getting more healthy. The female one.
Oh, okay. Before I begin, do you watch the latest TMNT Mutant Mayhem movie?
Unfortunately, not yet.
Same. But I'm sure you've seen the trailer, right? The trailer looks pretty insane. So I remember you told me back then you used to study motion graphics in school. Can you imagine the amount of work that someone has to put in to animate these movies?
Yep, definitely. When it comes to the animation, it's either by traditional line drawings or 3D. There's definitely a lot of work. I mean, like you need to rig everything, make the poses, the character design, the animation. Yeah.
Then talking about the property itself, right? TMNT, it's been around for like years and years. I just want to ask, right? Is it a big part of your childhood? Is it? I feel like it's a very 80s kids thing, like or like an early 90s kids thing where they are very obsessed with like He-Man and TMNT and Transformers.
Yeah, I think we grew up with that. TMNT, Ghostbusters, all those other franchise. Yeah, I have figures from that. My dad bought me a few figures. Leonardo was one of the first figures that I got.
The big bro.
Yeah, I got the truck as well. Yeah, really big part of my childhood.
Like, receiving it as a figurine back when you're younger, it really will have an imprint on you over time, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the only thing that keeps us entertained as a kid is either the Saturday's TV shows or the figurines that you come to play with. Yeah.
Definitely. Quick question. Back then, who's your favorite turtle?
Leo is one of my favorite ones.
Moving on, right? Later we'll deep dive a little bit more into this entire TMNT universe you've created. But before that, right, I want to touch on some stuff. Your very recognizable style, Mechasoul. So honestly, just a personal opinion, right? But Mechasoul is insanely detailed and beautiful and meticulous. I'm sure it's not just me, like even I've seen all the reception that you receive online. It's great. So the last interview, you did mention that an artist's style do define you to a certain extent, not just as an artist, but also as a person, right? It's part of your identity, right? So when you shift away from your identity, is there any fear? What makes you want to shift away from that style as well?
As an artist, you need to have your certain visual style, right? To represent yourself as an artist. Where do you come from? Who you are? So I guess Mechasoul was part of my older childhood lives as a teenager, where I'm dwelling into a lot of technical stuff, all the mechanical parts. And then now I started to shift not away from it, but shifting back into my childhood as a child, what I love doing, what I love watching as a kid, what makes me dwell into arts in overall. Why do I love comics? Why do I love cartoons? So I go back to that, and then it's more like transiting between the past years of my life.
Maybe I should phrase it another way. Maybe not shifting away, but more like expanding your arsenal of like styles, right?
Yep, and moving from timeline to timeline.
Say when you experiment with a new approach, right? Do you at some point feel any form of like uncertainty? What am I gonna do? Or is this gonna work?
I guess I used to have that kind of doubtfulness in my works or whatever I'm doing. I'm afraid of what people might say, but as I grow older, I just kind of like just want to do things in a way that I hope it grows, like a plant. When you plant a seed, whether it grows or not, at least you put in the effort to see and try it out. Yeah.
Okay, nice. And it's always, you're going to go for the A for effort approach, right? Even if you consider a failure, you're going to give your best. You don't know if you don't try, right?
Yeah.
Now we move on to your TMNT Full Squad artwork, right? Their own individual print as well. The project started because you want to get in touch with your childhood a little bit, right?
Yeah.
So you look at that style, right? It still shows a lot of your identity in it. It's very aggressive still. It's kind of like how the actual original black and white TMNT comic book looks like. Before they got the color print, it was a very dark, high contrast approach. But the feel of it is just very aggressive. Kind of feels like what you're trying to achieve here, right?
Yeah, I think it's a more adult version, more tailored to the 90s kids. Yeah, how we perceive them.
My favorite is Raphael. So I realized you actually gave him a Carhartt vest.
Oh yeah.
How will you describe the difference in this style where we have dubbed it the urban combat as compared to your existing Mechasoul work?
I guess the similarity is, if you look at it, it still has the same kind of aggressiveness, the line work, the approach to details. That's been taken from the Mechasoul series. So what I've learned in Mechasoul, being patient with the details, I put it into the so-called urban TMNT art style. The difference is that it's more organic, it's more leaning towards how I started off graffiti. So it's more street style, it's more urban art, it's more about lifestyle and culture. So I'm mixing both timeline again.
Oh, nice. So it's more of like detailed planning on top of that, with going with the flow type of combination, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow, okay, that's really sick, man. I mean, of course, I think naturally the accessories, right? As you grow older, you start to see more like possible products, that people put, all the different styles and everything. You see the trends that go over the years, and then you start to fit it in accordingly also, right, with the accessories.
Yep, that's right. I think it's to commemorate fashion designers, toy collectors, street cultures, everyone as a whole. Yeah.
Nice. It's basically representative of like what you like over the years, right? So how many characters do you draw for that? 12? Or 11?
I think around 12. Yeah, including all the anti-heroes and as well as the villains.
Mel bought a print from you and then she received it. Yeah, so like it's the full squad one. Yeah, it looks it's insane. Which character do you start off with first?
If I'm not wrong, I started off with again Leo. Okay. So he's the kick off everything. Yeah. That kind of give me the motivation to start everything. And then of course the four brothers. And then you cannot forget the master. And from there on, it just spreads from there and then trying to fill up all the different villains and stuff. I think there's still missing characters.
They really have a lot. At least we include all the main ones like Krang, Shredder, they all right. Well, Shredder looks insane also. Every character has such distinct, unique style. Which character do you like enjoy designing most in this full squad series?
I mean, not trying to be cliche, but Mikey is one of the enjoyable process I had. He's more fun, right? He can have a lot of accessories on him. He has more persona. He has more character.
He's basically more fun personally as a character also.
Yeah, so it's easy to play around with. Whenever you throw something on him, like all the brands and design and cultures, it kind of fits his personality. Yeah.
Okay, speaking of Mikey, right? Just nice, it's tying in together with our releases this week. So I got a surprise for you. Let me show this to you. This is the just 3D printed Urban Combat Mikey. So shout out to Adam who found it, and coated it black. Bro, it's huge, man. It seems like it's about 10 inches tall. Yeah. I think we all know Mikey is like the most cheerful guy. He's the youngest guy. He has like most hobbies. The way he like manipulate on the skateboard, like his music tendencies, and like he's just like super bouncy, cheerful, dancey. That's his persona. So let's take a look at it. Could you like tell me a little bit about the Easter eggs that you have included in this print itself?
I think there's a lot of things going on. Definitely all the turtles love the pizza, right? So instead of him holding a pizza, I made him into a necklace on it to represent all the hip hop vibe. A lot of stickers that I put onto the boombox, representing all the different crews and friends that I've met, designers to illustrators to graffiti artists. It's more of like to pay homage to our friends and families also. And then his tattoo represents a lot about him. Like he's very cheerful, right? The taste of music that he has. Why I did use like all the UFOs and space stuff is because like if you listen to Blink-182, it kind of sing with him as a person, very punk rocky. Yeah.
Like me and punk rocky, yes. That's a mistake I kind of didn't see coming. One more question. I will assume that you will want him to be holding his weapons as well, but like the way it's tucked in, right, in his belt, it's such a cool accessory, like to have, like the way it's stashed here.
You always see Mikey always using his nunchucks and stuff. So I want him to be more chill. They're all in a very chill position, very nice stance rather than in a fighting pose. Yeah.
I think only Raphael looks the most aggressive, right?
Yep, the one he's ready to fight, right? Yeah. I think subconsciously how different characters are being posed in a certain way. Yeah.
Yes.
So it wasn't really planned.
And of course, you have his favorite skateboard. I remember this one movie scene where I think more of like the live action one. He had the mechanical like rocket skateboard with him. Wow, like the way that scene was animated, he just picked it up from his back and then like he dumped it under his feet and then the rocket just shoot it off and then he's just riding it to like save someone, right?
Yeah.
Like it's so his style. Him even in combat, he still know how to have fun.
Very agile in a way when he moves. Yeah.
Yeah. Just the flips and the spins and like it's very flashy.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for sharing. Right, I am so excited for this to be released. Is this your first time seeing the full sale?
Yup, and the stealth black looks so dope, man.
Just imagine it with colors, and then with all the decals, the stickers, all the little Easter eggs that you added in. I think it'll be insane, man. And definitely the whole thing here at mightyjaxx, right? We are all like super keen on trying to make this the series to push it all to all 4 turtles. I think we have to a certain extent because what's TMNT without all 4 brothers, right? Bam! I know Master Splinter is important, but we should have
4 brothers.
Okay, so we're nearing the end of the interview. Thank you so much for taking time out with us. So I also do want to check in, this is for your own personal shout out. Any project that you're working on that you might want to tease your followers?
I think we're on the subject of urban TMNT. So what I'm currently doing is Load Up, which is an everyday carry kind of product, more to tactical military stuff. A lot of designs for patches. Yeah, so that's one of the projects that I'm working on.
To close out our interview, we always ask the same question. Any advice for aspiring artists or young artists out there who's still trying to find their identity, who's trying to make it to the scene?
I guess try not to strive for perfection. Try to be consistent in your work. You meet perfection, you meet the end. If you're constant, you go a long way.
Wow, thank you, man. Thank you. That is so deep and like so simple, but yet so deep at the same time, man. I also want to give you, for those of you who are keen to get a print from Clogtwo himself, please head over to his website, Silent Sirens. There you can find a lot of art prints and all artworks. All those fans of Clogtwo, please go over there and just indulge yourself. It's definitely worth every last bit of your money. We're really looking forward to this release this weekend, and potentially the entire squad in the future. We're really working towards that. But for this weekend, we're starting off with Mikey. This TMNT Clogtwo collaborations, Urban Combat Michelangelo. It's dropping this weekend, 14 October, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, 9 p.m. Singapore time. For VIPs, it'll be 1 day earlier. So do check out if you guys are VIPs yourself of mightyjaxx. For this specific release, we will also have 10 lucky buyers who will stand a chance to receive a signed copy of it from Clogtwo himself. It's not every day where we have access to the artists, we're based in the same country, so don't miss out on this chance. And we want to shout out to all our viewers, all our followers, and all of Clogtwo's followers as well. Thank you so much for taking time out to show us support all through the years, especially Eman yourself as well. We really appreciate all the projects that we've worked on. Thank you so much for taking time out, man.
Thank you so much, bro.
Yeah, it's a pleasure working with you, and we'll see you guys soon. Yeah.
Bye.